Hello, third graders. Today we are going to spend some time talking about shapes. We're going to focus on flat shapes here in third grade. We're not going to really spend any time on three-dimensional shapes. So, I have some vocabulary words for you that you're going to need to learn as we discuss shapes, and I have them listed up here. We're going to talk about what each of these words mean. So let's first look here where we see the words plane figure. A plane figure is a flat shape. That's all it is. Anything that is a plane figure is a flat shape. It could be a circle, a square, a triangle, a random blob that's drawn on a piece of paper. Any shape that is flat is considered a plane figure. Okay? If it is a closed plane figure, then it doesn't have space in between. So you could have an open plane figure like that, where you have an opening, okay? Or you could have a closed plane figure where it's closed like that. But any flat shape is called a plane figure. So very broad, okay? Now, from there, we have polygons. Polygons are also plane figures, but they're even more specific than that. Polygons have to have all straight sides, and they have to be closed. Okay? They can't have any curved sides or any parts that are round. So a circle could not be a polygon. Right here. Sorry, boys and girls. A circle could not be a polygon because it has some round. It's all round, actually. So any shape that has curved edges could not be a polygon. Okay? It has to be all straight edges. Now, within shapes, we talked the other day about the vertex of a shape. And if you have more than one vertex, those are called vertices. And those are the point in a shape where two sides meet. So if I'll draw another one here. So if I were to draw this triangle, okay, right there is a vertex. That is also a vertex. And there is a third vertex. Those points where the sides meet. Okay? When you were in like preschool and kindergarten and first grade, you referred to those as corners. Vertex is just the proper mathematical term. And then here we have also the word angles. And we've been learning about angles already, so that should not be a new word to you. Angles are the inside space when two sides come together. The inside space when two sides come together. Okay, I apologize, boys and girls. So as you know, since I have a toddler at home, it can be challenging to make videos and teach with her because she doesn't always understand. So thank you for being patient with me. So let me just review one more time. Angles are the space between the area where two sides meet. So whereas this here is the vertex, this part in here is the angle. It tells you how wide or narrow the space is between the two sides. And we've learned about acute angles, obtuse angles, and right angles. And we've learned about what each of those types of angles are. Okay? So, let's look here. Let's take a look at these shapes. We can classify these closed plane figures into two separate groups. We have group C and we have group D. Okay? All of the shapes in group C would be considered polygons because all of the sides are straight sides. The shapes in group D would not be polygons because they all have at least some curved lines. There's curves. This is all curves here. This rainbow shape has two curved lines, and this circle has one long curved line. So these are not polygons, and I'm going to write here not polygons because they have some curved lines. The shapes in group C are all polygons. Okay? Now, let's take a look and let's see how well you understand this. So get out a piece of paper or dry erase board and marker and letter it, I should say, A, B, C, D, E, and F. A, B, C, D, E, and F. Go ahead and put all those letters on your paper. Okay. Put a check mark next to the letters that show polygons. So if you think A is a polygon, put a check mark next to it. If you think it is not a polygon, do not put a check mark next to it. Letter B, if you think it is a polygon, put a check mark next to it. If you think it is not a polygon, leave it blank. Do the same with C, D, E, and F. And then we're going to review in a minute which ones are polygons and which ones are not. Pause the video if you need more time. Okay. Figure A. You should not have put a check mark next to it. It is not a polygon because it's not closed. Remember, in order for it to be a polygon, it has to be a closed plane figure with all straight sides. This is not closed. It is not a polygon. Shape B. It is not a polygon as well because it is a circle, and circles cannot be polygons because they are curved. Shape C. I'm going to put a check mark there. It is a polygon. It's closed. All of the sides are straight. Shape D. Not a polygon. I'm going to leave it blank. It is not a polygon because it's not closed. Shape E is a polygon. It's closed and it has all straight edges, straight sides. Shape F is also a polygon. It is closed. It has all straight sides. So you should have put a check mark next to C, E, and F. Those are all examples of polygons. Now, we can further classify polygons and we can be more specific because that's a very broad word. Any shape that's closed and has straight edges is a polygon. So we have to be able to be more specific about what shapes we're talking about. So even though all of these are polygons, they also all have more specific names. And we're going to talk about those in a moment. Okay? Right here, this shape has 3 sides. You know it as a triangle. Okay? This shape right here has 4 sides. 2 of them are longer and the other 2 are shorter. This is a rectangle. Okay. Just to make it clear, if this shape had 4 equal sides, like in this example, and I'm going to try to make it as perfect as I can, where all 4 sides are the same length, that would be a square. Another cool thing is that technically a square is a type of rectangle, because in order for a shape to be a rectangle, it has to have 4 sides and it has to have 4 right angles. A square has 4 sides and 4 right angles, but it's also even more specific because all of those sides are the same length. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Now, here we have a pentagon. This shape has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pentagon. Okay. This shape right here is a hexagon. It has 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a hexagon. Okay. And then this shape right here, you may be very familiar with it because it looks like a stop sign. It is an octagon. It has 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is an octagon. Okay. Now, let's review a few things. So, I'm going to ask a couple questions. I want you to write your answers down, and then we'll review them. So, question number 1. how many vertices does a triangle have? See if you remember what I taught you about vertices. How many vertices does a triangle have? That's question number 1. Okay. Question number 2. How many vertices does a pentagon have? Okay, you're going to write that down as well. And question number 3. Okay. What type of angles does an octagon have? Okay. I want you to answer all 3 questions. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do that. Please pause the video, though, if you need more time, and then we're going to review our answers. Okay, let's look at question number 1. Please pause if you need more time to answer. How many vertices does a triangle have? Okay, let's remember that a vertex is the point where 2 sides meet in a shape. So this triangle has 1, 2, 3 vertices. So I'm going to write down 3. Okay, question number 2. How many vertices does a pentagon have? Let's find our pentagon and let's see how many vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 vertices on a pentagon. And question number 3 was, what type of angles does an octagon have? Let's look here at these angles. All of the angles on this octagon are the same type of angle. Some shapes have more than one kind of angle, but octagons have all the same type of angle. And they are obtuse angles. Each of these angles are greater than 90 degrees. You can see that pretty easily if you look at, let's kind of turn it here so that, actually, wait, hold on, here we go. No, let's look at this one. All right, so let's look here. This line right here serves as our horizontal line. And then if you look here at this line slanted up like that, okay, this is the space that we're talking about between the 2 lines. And that is wider than 90 degrees. It's bigger. If it was a 90-degree angle, if it was a right angle, then this line here would be straight up and down. And that would make like an L shape. And it doesn't. So it's bigger. So all of the angles on an octagon are obtuse. Okay. So these are just some things that we have to think about when we're looking at shapes. We have to be able to understand how many sides they have, how many vertices they have, how we need to understand their angles. So do they have right angles? Do they have acute angles or obtuse angles? Or maybe they have a combination of some right angles, some acute angles, and some obtuse angles. We also are going to need to pay attention when we look at shapes to their lines, their sides. And you're going to hear people refer to shapes as sometimes having parallel lines. So that's the last thing I want to talk about today. Parallel lines are lines that run next to each other that never intersect. So, for example, take a look at this rectangle. These 2 lines on this rectangle are parallel. They are side by side, straight up and down. If you let them keep going forever and ever and ever, they would never, ever run into each other. They would continue to go straight, like railroad tracks, basically. So those are parallel lines. So a rectangle has one set of parallel lines that go this way, and they also have another set of parallel lines that go this way, and I'm going to show you those two. So this one and this one are parallel to each other. They are side by side, and they would never run into each other. If they kept going forever and ever, they would never intersect. Okay? Now obviously this line intersects with this line, but these two would never intersect with each other, and these two would never intersect with each other. So a rectangle has two sets of parallel lines. That's another thing that we're going to be discussing when we talk about shapes. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to do one more thing, and then you're going to work on your own on the Google form. So, I want you to number your paper 6, 7, and 8. We don't need to worry about 5. Just number 6, 7, and 8. We're going to answer 3 questions. We're going to answer question 6, 7, and 8. Answer these questions on your blank paper, and then we will review them. Question 6 says count the number of vertices. Question 7 says count the number of sides. And question number 8 says count the number of angles. Do that. Pause the video, and then press play again when you're ready to review. Okay. Count the number of vertices on this pentagon. Remember, the vertices are the points where two sides intersect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 vertices. Okay? Count the number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 sides. And count the number of angles. Here's 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, 4 angles, 5 angles. What do you notice about the number of vertices, the number of sides, and the number of angles on this pentagon? If you said that you noticed that they're all the same number, you are correct. That there are 5 vertices, 5 sides, and 5 angles. Which brings me to this last point. When you have a closed plane figure, however many sides that figure has, that's also the number of vertices it has, and that's also the number of angles that it has. So, a triangle has 3 sides. It also has 3 vertices, and it also has 3 angles. A rectangle has 4 sides. It also has 4 vertices, and it also has 4 angles. So I just want to make sure you understand that point. Okay? All right. You are going to complete the Google form, answering some questions about different shapes, different polygons that we learned about today. Good luck. Bye, boys and girls.